Hey, gang. Welcome. My name is Dan Stull. I'm one of the affiliate professors and chair of the advisory board here at the University of Washington's Master of Supply Chain Transportation and Logistics programs. And I'm joined today by one of our all-star Ph.D. researchers, Arsalan Esmaili, who's been working very diligently studying all things AI. He's helped us develop a couple of specialized modules for some of the courses that we teach, and we'll be doing that again when we have our residency weekend in September. So we launched this AI in the Modern Supply Chain series a few months ago, and we thought one of the things that we should absolutely do is do a little bit more of a deep technical dive and show people how some of these AI tools that have come along can help us in our daily analytics. So, Arslan, with that, why don't I turn it over to you? Give us a little bit about your background, then I'll stop the share and we'll kick things off.
Hello, everyone. My name is Arsalan. I'm a PhD student in Transportation Engineering Department. I'm also a master's student in Industrial Engineering Department, and I'm the TA for Supply Chain Transportation and Logistics program in University of Washington. My background is mainly related to data science, statistical modeling, behavioral analysis in the like transportation environment, which would be like safety analysis, last mile delivery, like electric vehicles, autonomous vehicles, and so on. And yeah, welcome and thank you for joining us in the last session of our AI in modern supply chain webinar series. Um, so today would be one of the use cases, and it's more like a personal use case of AI in logistics. You are using it as an assistant. So I remember when we started this series, we had this idea that AI is going to change everything. And not many people are aware of that, especially in the like industry setting. In academic setting, most people were using it, but we noticed that based on our own observation, we noticed that many people are not aware of it, and it has the potential to change everything. And in the like past 6 months, it changed many things. Nowadays, everyone is talking about AI. If you go to a seminar, if you go to a convention, exhibition related to logistics or any other field, you will see that everyone is talking about AI. And it is kind of scary, although it is useful, but it is scary. Ironically, people who are very good at giving their job to AI are the ones who keep their job. And so we need to keep up with it, and everything becomes so fast. These models are changing very fast, and they become much more capable every day. So in the previous sessions, we tried to showcase the AI use in this industry. But today it would be, as I mentioned, like an assistant. It is the most basic use of AI. It's just using that chat box, copy and paste things, and get results, and do everything with that chat box. Nothing complicated. So I will keep everything basic. The idea of this seminar comes from one of our sessions in residency weekend, which is an introductory course in SCTL. And I wanted to like go over a basic coding with the students in Python. And coding would need some background. It is pretty hard to set things up, and it can be frustrating if you don't have any background. And it is normal that many people doesn't have background in coding, and I knew that. So I was trying to get help from ChatGPT during the session and show that, okay, this is the coding environment. You can type this. Okay, we got errors. Copy and paste the error in ChatGPT and see what code it gives you, copy and paste it to the coding environment, see the results. If you can interpret it, ask ChatGPT, copy and paste the result, and ask ChatGPT. And still, I noticed that like 90% of students were lost. And it was normal because if you don't have any background, it would be pretty hard to set these things up. So I just copy and paste the data we were working on directly into ChatGPT. And back then it didn't have this internal calculation, but I think they recently added that. So I asked it, please describe this data and give me some basic analysis, and it did everything internally. So I don't, I didn't need to just copy paste the code into the coding environment. So we bypassed the coding part. And like in few minutes, students, without me telling them, the students were able to generate interactive maps and were able to generate models, interpret the models, which was impressive. These things were pretty hard to do. You need a background in data, machine learning, modeling. Uh, you needed coding as experience. That's the most important part. And also, you need awareness on that data you're working on to be able to do so. And doing these at least take 1 week of a data scientist, and they were able to do it in 5 minutes, which was impressive. So today we are going to do the same thing. I will copy and paste a link which has some data in it. So we have we have a historic data. Let me share the link with you. Okay, and share my screen. Okay, please open chatgpt.com or any other platform that you have. I can't see the messages.
What can't you see?
Yeah. Okay, messages.
You got it. Okay.
Yeah, got it. And please let me know if you have any questions. I don't know if you can talk, but yeah. Okay, open the chat GPT, and this is the files that I shared with you. Download all of these into your computer and try to open them and see what's going on. So overall, we have historical shipments data. I'm a like supply chain manager. I have some historical data I collected in my company. I know where like delivered, if the delivery were on time or not. I have these information. And I have tomorrow's shipments. I want to predict the most like the riskiest one, and also predict the like what should I do? Which carrier should I focus more on? So I want to predict the future using my historical data with some few prompts, less than 10 prompts. I'm going to do this. And so this is the historical data. This is data dictionary that you can see what's going on. And this is tomorrow's shipment that you want to predict and act on it. And these are the prompts that we are going to use and copy and paste to our chatbot. Okay, so please open all of them in your computer. Okay, I have them here. So you don't know anything about the data, and it's totally normal. Although if you work in that company, if you're a supply chain manager, you probably know a lot about the data. But consider the scenario that you don't know anything about the data. I will just attach, and you can, to make it like more clear, you can open a new project if you want and name it like AI seminar, something like that. And it's the same. It will just create a folder and you type in that folder. So I'm going to, I can see my folder. Okay. I'm going to drag and drop my files, not the prompt one. All of these files, historical shipments, tomorrow's shipments, and data dictionary in this chat box. Okay. And I have the prompts. This is my problem. I don't know why I can't see my, okay. I'm just, okay. This is the prompts. You don't want to like drop it into this. I want ChatGPT to describe this data to me. I don't know anything about this data, and I want it to describe this data and tell me what is it? Is it about? How can I use it? What can I do in the future with this data? What information? You can read this prompt, and I will tell you how I got this prompt. Copy and paste it here, and it will give you the analysis.
So at this point, you're just asking a very high level question. What's in this data set?
Yeah,
What can I
it's
learn?
just, and how did I get this one? How did I get this like structured prompt? I opened another tab in ChatGPT and I like did all of these parallel, and I said I want to understand what's going on in these data sets. Give me a prompt so I can paste it to another like tab, and it gave me this prompt. So normally if you wanna like work with ChatGPT, you can say, please describe these or describe these data sets to me. I asked ChatGPT that I want you to describe the data set for me. What would be the best prompt? And it gave me this prompt. I did it previously, but you can just use describe these data set to me. Okay, it is giving me everything, like how many points we have, what is it about? It says this is the main learning data sets. We have the shows what happened in the past and can later be used to understand patterns behind late deliveries. And tomorrow's shipment, as we know, is my tomorrow data. I want to predict something out of it. I want to assess the risk, and I want to be careful on certain like paths and routes. And the data dictionary is just describing the columns. You may have that or may not. And it shows what is the data, what columns you have in your data, all the information, all the important information. What is the target variable, and so on. I'm going to my prompt. Now I know what's this data, and I read this, and I have a goal. I want to predict the future. And now I want to say, okay, just focus on the shipment, the historical shipment data, and give me like overall calculations. Give me a code that I can focus on, and I can paste it into Python, and I can get like figures, plots to see and visualize the historical data better, to understand the trends better. So it is giving me the Python code now, which is not the best use case. I have to have a like coding platform to be able to paste all of these codes, which is pretty hard to generate. So consider the time before AI, you had to write all of these codes yourself to be able to get these data sets. This is the code that it is giving me. And if I paste it into my coding environment, it would be something like this. I have to paste all of these codes here, and it will give me these plots. But I don't want this. It's a lot of work. I want it to give me the plots itself. So instead of asking for a code, I will tell it, okay, give me the prompt that you are doing everything internally. So this short, I will copy and paste this one, and you can do all of these steps with me. And at the end, we have a cool product. And now it will give me all of these itself. So it is running the code internally and generate the responses. Any questions so far? And I put a like setting on the extended one, which is like the thinking version, and you can set it on extended. The instant version will also produce good results, but it is faster, but not as deep as this version. It takes some time to run the code and give the response. In the next step, until he is thinking about it, in the next step, I want to build a machine learning model to predict tomorrow's delivery. So right now, my data set, if you read this part, my data set have like late delivery risk. I know that in my previous shipments, I had certain information like my carrier type, my mode, and many other information, type, weather. And I had one outcome variable, which is like if the delivery was late, was it on time or late? And for tomorrow, based on all of these information that I have about my delivery, I want to predict that if it would be on time or late. Let me see if okay. It gave me the code. So it ran the code internally. You don't need to set this up anymore, which is pretty hard to do so. You need to install this VS Code, know how to make an environment and many presetting. You just bypass that. It ran the code internally and give you all the responses. We can see that the like carrier C, now that it gave us plots, we can see easier. Carrier C has the highest late delivery rate. Shipments with rail has the highest late delivery rate. Probably carrier C is the cheapest one, but we need to like deep diver. And I don't want to get into the details of the coding. You may have any coding, any data related to your company, and you need to just take these steps to be able to analyze data, and it will give you a lot of information about your data sets. And I want to show the potential in this case, but you can apply it to your case. So it says that the delivery rate was highest for route Seattle to Dallas, 64%, and it gives me all the analysis. It gives me the average shipping cost and many more. Now I want to predict my future data. Now I want to make decisions for tomorrow. What I need to do is to just copy and paste this prompt, which is telling it now build a machine learning model to predict whether a shipment will be late. Use historical shipment, which is the data my company is like making and creating based on the previous shipments and keeping everything there to predict, to be able to make better decisions. And the target variable is late delivery. The variable that I'm interested in is whether if that delivery was late or not. So for tomorrow, I want to see if the delivery would be late or not based on the characteristics that I have from my historical shipment. So I copy and paste, and you can copy the prompt 4, and I paste it into ChatGPT to build a machine learning model with all the information. Now consider that I don't have any experience about machine learning model. How did I use this? How did I come up with machine learning model? Because I asked in another chat, I asked ChatGPT, if I want to predict something, what is the best prompt? And it gave me this. So I know nothing about these. For example, you don't know nothing about confusion matrix, accuracy, precision. All of these are generated in another like chat. And I was asking very high level questions, and ChatGPT making it very like detailed and making it a prompt that I can use it in another chat to have a like very targeted responses. Okay, it is generating responses. Perfect. Okay, it ran the model, and we're able to make a model with accuracy of 67.5%. You don't know nothing about these. What you should do, you need to copy all of these, copy all of these and paste it into another chat and say, I got this response. What should I do? What does it mean? Although it is explaining everything in a very detailed way. So if you read it, you will understand. But in case you weren't able to understand what is confusion matrix, you can ask in another chat what's going on. So that was the case for me. I pasted this code and I said, okay, what's going on? And ChatGPT gave me this prompt. It says that, okay, ask this. And I don't know anything about this. I'm just interested in the final response. So it is like fine-tuning the model, which someone with machine learning experience can do that. So ChatGPT in another chat noticed that it is not fine-tuned, and now it is trying to fine-tune the model. So I copy and paste the next model, next prompt, which tries to fine-tune the model. And at the end, I want to get a summary, an executive summary of what I should do for my tomorrow's delivery. That would be the final product. These parts are like modeling, figuring things out. But at the end, my final product would be an executive summary that says exactly what you should do. These are plots that I don't care about as a supply chain manager. It is still thinking on it. It fine-tuned its threshold, which I don't know anything about. I just want to say that, okay, now you ran the model, give me an executive summary of what to do tomorrow, which would be this prompt. I asked all of these, I mentioned all of these in another chat, and it gave me this prompt. You can do it yourself as well using these data sets. So what it gives me, for each tomorrow shipment, calculate predicted late probability, high risk flag, risk tier. Use these risk tiers to give me critical elevated watch list and lower risk deliveries, and also create a table of the top 20 riskiest tomorrow shipments, a count of shipments by risk tier, high risk shipments by carrier, high risk shipments by shipment mode, high risk shipments by routes, and it will give you all of these information. Just copy and paste it. I think it's trying to give me these results. In the next one, consider that I receive an email that changes my tomorrow's data. The email says that we have an issue in some of our route due to weather condition, and carrier C expects delays on shipments moving through Chicago to Minneapolis. And I have this, which changed my data sets and everything. I want to see how can I deal with it, how dynamic it can be. So this give me everything, all the information, the risks based on carrier, gives me the shipment ID with the highest risk. And also it gives me recommended action. It says escalate today, contact carrier C, verify ETA capacity, consider expediting or rerouting. Will give me everything for the top 20 riskiest with the highest risk deliveries and shipments. So it give me a strategy. I can get a more detailed strategy, but for now, I received an email which changes my data, which ChatGPT used to predict. I want to see if it can change the model dynamically. So I'm going to use this prompt. Say we just received the following carrier disruption email. It has subject, the email, and the prompt that what you should do. Basically saying, considering this email, update everything and give me the results. Use. And oh, my internet connection is unstable. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. And for people that have used these models for a long time, this is still considered lightning fast, right? Just the last several weeks, the speed of the responses here has gone up dramatically.
Yeah,
So people are sitting there going, "Wow, this seems to take a while, but this is lightning fast."
this is very fast. Doing these analysis this fast is very shocking, honestly, and scary because it's a huge amount of code behind it and it is running them. It is changing data sets, updating everything, and it changed the like it is changing everything now. Yeah. Okay, it gave me the results. I think I have an unstable internet connection. I don't know why. Okay, what did it do? It says all 21 affected shipments became more urgent because their predicted late probabilities increased. So it updated my data as well. Also, you can use it to generate your data. For example, your company does not collect data. You can ask and you can like send your like submit your emails to this and it can give you a like Excel file and modeling ready data for you. Because as you saw, it was able to turn the text into data points. So we gave it a text, like this is happening, and it has this understanding to go and see what data points has been affected, which is huge. It wasn't like this like 1 year ago. It is getting, even 2 weeks ago, it was different. It is getting faster and better in everything. Its understanding is getting much better than before. And these works is a like job of a team, like that has like ML engineer in it, data scientist, also someone who knows programming. But now you can do it yourself. And in the case of your company, you have a very good understanding about your data and you can understand everything that it says. And it is a simple case. You can if you read going through them, you can understand what's going on. But I'm not going through them because we don't have much time. But what happened, it updated the risk and gave me a strategy for tomorrow. What should I do? Okay, this is another example. Now we want to, if you go to prompt 9, I want to do something interesting, which actually surprised me that it was able to do so. I want to create a dashboard. And instead of like doing all of these from the beginning, I want to make a dashboard that each time I have a new data set, I upload that data to this dashboard and get all of these analysis that I did so far. And I asked in another tab that how can I do this? What is the best prompt? And it gave me this one. I copy and paste everything to get that dashboard. And if you're doing it with me, you are able to make that dashboard. And it is still running the previous one because my internet is unstable. But let's just run this one. I need to refresh my page. Okay. So it is creating a dashboard for me. But the important thing here is that uh, most of the time you may not have access to these platforms. Your company offering them, and you have limited tokens, limited number of tokens, and you cannot like generate everything from the scratch. So most of the time it would be best to do your analysis in like one of these platforms that doesn't have token limitage and ask very targeted questions from your company's AI and also make a product out of it, like what I'm doing here. I'm making a dashboard and it make me independent from all of these previous tasks. So now I'm making a dashboard, and each time I get a new data, I will just upload my data set into that dashboard and it give me all of these analysis. So it's what I'm suggesting to do instead of repeating your work over and over, which is timely and also needs tokens and you have a certain limit. I would recommend that at the end, try to create a dashboard, a tool that can give all of these to you without like being dependent on the previous prompts. So
Quick
it is
question,
taking, yeah,
Arsalan. So you build the dashboard, you come into work the next day. So the dashboard is built on the data that you've just done, the machine learning, and actually it's a fine-tuned machine learning model. And then you say, give me a dashboard. You come into work tomorrow morning, you update your files for those shipments desired by the shipments for tomorrow.
yeah,
And then the dashboard runs everything we just saw here to give you the intelligence on what you should do about tomorrow's shipments, what the risks are, and what some of the probabilities are.
exactly, exactly. So the dashboard is doing all of these things internally, and it's not related to my tokens anymore. It is, it just make the code, and I'm not using AI anymore with that.
So, Arsalan, while that thing is thinking about the dashboard, do you mind if I ask just a couple of quick questions and kind of
Sure.
walk through the process here just to reinforce what we're
Yeah.
learning? So fundamentally, we started out with two files. It's basically the historical shipment information, and then orders for tomorrow, deliveries for tomorrow.
Yes.
And then you created this third file that you call your data dictionary. Where did that concept come from, and how does that help the model, the data dictionary?
So the data dictionary is like uh, a standard file that most data sets should have. It's like describing the data sets to me, and it generated the dashboard. So it is like describing the data set, and it's for humans. But in normal setting, if you have a data, most of the time you have this data dictionary that describe each columns to you. For ChatGPT, we don't need that. But if you give it to it in case that you have like weird names here,
Yeah,
here the names are clear. But in case you don't have clear names,
yeah.
data, it can give you your ChatGPT, it can give the AI a better understanding of the data. Although I think it can guess everything pretty accurately because it saw many different data sets, even if these names are not clear. But probably if you have a data, you have a data dictionary, and it would be better to upload it with your um, other data sets to
Okay.
AI.
Should we jump back to your dashboard and then I'll continue on with just
Yeah,
kind of a quick summary? All right, cool.
of
Thanks.
course. So the thing is that, okay, it gave me the dashboard. But here, as you can see, it's not a dashboard. It's not like the previous one. It says that I created the complete Streamlit dashboard project. And you probably don't know what is Streamlit. I know what it is, but if you don't know, you go and copy and paste this. What does it say? I don't understand. What is a Streamlit? A Streamlit is a platform that help you to create dashboards. It's like a website that connect to Python and it will give you dashboard, which makes it easier to create dashboard instead of making it from scratch. So it gave me an Streamlit dashboard and it gave me some files, which is download. Okay, the file is app.py. It's a Python file. You don't know that, you copy and paste what are these files in another chat. But for now, I know what is this. It gave me these files. Also, it is describing what is it about. It says that my this file requirement text is this and how to run it locally. So because it is a dashboard, you have to run it yourself. It cannot give you a dashboard in this area. So it says create a folder, for example, this one in on your desktop and forget about it. You can just or you can open your terminal. Bash means terminal here. And okay, I don't know why I can't see my okay. For example, it says your terminal would be something like that. For me, it's PowerShell. If you have Mac, it would be terminal. So it's super simple. You can ask another like another in another chat what's going on, what is bash. It says I should do this, what should I do, tell me in detail what should I do, and it tell you, okay, if your computer is Windows, you have to open your like PowerShell, search PowerShell, and it will bring your terminal, and you need to paste these. So basically, what does it do? It create a folder for you called AI Logistics Control Tower, and it says that go to that folder. It's like creating a file. Normally, I use that new folder and I go inside that file. I already created that to save time, which is this one. And I did whatever steps it says to run the model. We can do it again if we have time. So I'm going to create this directory. I go I created in like my desktop, which I think is easier. I copied the name, new folder, paste the name. Okay, this is the folder. Basically, those two lines say that you need to make this folder. And it says put all of these in that folder, all of the things I gave it to you, which is like this one, and this is the full project. So I just download this one, also this one. And paste it to the folder that I just made. So even if you don't know anything about coding, it can give you structures, instructions step by step. So I pasted them. It also says put these files in the folder. Okay, put this one, this one. It says put your data sets in that folder as well. Perfect. We did every step. And now it says install requirements. I don't know what it is. It says bash, which means in your terminal, you need bash means your terminal here. do this. And you already should have gone into the directory of your file. You may not understand what I'm saying. You can just copy and paste everything and ask it in detail, what should I do? But if you ask, it says that you need to go to the file that you made. My file is in desktop. So I copy and paste my file. Yeah, and how you should go to the like CD means that current directory should be that one. I don't know why I can't see my thing here. Okay. Um, I'll close this one. This is the file that I made, and this is its path. I copy and paste it. And if you want to go to the path of that folder, you need to paste it and make, if I run it, I get, okay, it went there. I didn't get errors. Perfect. I'm in there. And now I want to do whatever it says, which I don't know. It just says, do this, and I'm doing it. It installed everything, and then it says Streamlit run app. It was just few steps, few easy steps there. I'm just copy and paste everything that it told me. Okay, this is the app. It is running it. Here we created a dashboard. It also has this logo. Now it says to upload your data sets here. It created a dashboard. I want to upload my data sets, which are these three. It says drag and drop, upload historic shipments. Here, historic shipments. Loaded it. Now I want to upload tomorrow shipments. Done. Optional upload data dictionary, which I skipped that one. And it is running. So it is basically doing the analysis for me. Okay, done. It is giving me everything that it already gave me. It may need some work to do, but it gave everything. And you can change your data. It's dynamic. It will give you new analysis. I have all the analysis that I need. Model performance.
And when we talked on the phone yesterday with our planning call, you said, I was able to create a dashboard and I was shocked, right? This is like
Yeah,
yesterday. You're like, I can't believe I was able to do this. And I can't believe how fast it was.
it is so fast. The dashboard is fast as well, which shows that it has a great like coding behind it. It is pretty fast. It ran a machine learning model, gave me all the updates. So here we had this update, executive summary, everything. We have everything, and it gave me the summary here. Main operational risk drivers. Here we are using that email, but later you can also work with it more to give you, okay, I will upload emails to you and also update the data. So you will have another box here to upload your emails if you want to have a more detailed data, more detailed dashboard. But this work is like 1 month work of a software engineer before AI. It's not easy.
And then you come in tomorrow and you've got the drag and drop tomorrow's shipments.
Yeah.
You drop that in, you hit the file, and you get your new dashboard for the day.
Yeah. You have this dashboard. Now you can just drag and drop your data and you will get information. It's like a tool that help you decide for your tomorrow's shipments. Which one should I focus more on? Or what is the highest risk? Which carrier has the highest risk? Should I change it? And it will give you all. You can decide basically, but it give you suggestion based on the analysis it did. Is the best practice to automate critical actions found by. I'm reading a question in the chat within Chat GPT, and that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. I don't know if you ran this with me.
Can I just do a quick synopsis? Go through the process real fast.
Yeah,
So we
sure.
come in with these two files and the third file, which is our data dictionary. And the first question that you asked, the high level question was like, what's in this data? What can I learn? And how can I figure out how to deliver shipments better? Right? Kind of high level. But to ask that question, you used an AI saying, hey, take a look at this data set, tell me what's in there. And then you take the answer and you say, okay, well, how would I manipulate the file? Now you've got a series of these 10 prompts, but the reality is if you were doing because you knew where you were going for this
Yes,
presentation. But the
yes,
reality is if you were starting off fresh, you've never done this before, you don't really know the endpoint other than I could use one of these dashboard things, right? Each step you're saying, okay, this is the output I got, and then you ask the AI, what should I do next? Right? Every step
exactly.
of the way. And it gives you an answer. You copy and paste and you drop it in. And so here's the workflow that I come up with. You start off with your basic files, give me a description, what's in there. You then say, okay, give me the code of how I would analyze this file. The next prompt says, okay, run the code, and then you get some output, right? And then you
Yes,
say, well, now I need a model. I need a machine learning model that's the best fit for this data. I need to be able to do some predictions, so I need a machine learning model. You
yeah,
run that, and then the next step then is to say, I need to fine tune this model. Okay, that's good enough, but you looked at the parameters and maybe it's not tight enough. So then you say, I need to fine tune the model. Once you fine tune the model, then you say, okay, now give me the predictions. Tell me what's about to happen tomorrow. And it gives you all of that output.
exactly.
Your next step is you get an email. Oh no, the weather's turning terrible. There's going to be big storms in the Midwest. Here's the potential impact. You drop it in. How does this change things? And then, so that was step number 7. Step number 8 is like, well, now I've got another change. So you're doing kind of this risk analysis. You're updating the model. And then finally, once you've got this fine-tuned model, you said, well, I don't want to go through this process every single day. I want to be able to just drag and drop my files, look at my basically risk profile, and figure out what I'm going to do about it. Therefore, I'm going to build a dashboard. But you didn't program the dashboard. Every single step along the way, you're asking the model to create this stuff, right? And you're basically copying and pasting every step along the way. And every time you don't understand the output, you just drop it in and said, "Well, what does this mean and what's my next step?" That's kind of the high level process here, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you for summarizing that. The thing is that honestly, for this part, the dashboard part, because I did it without AI before, and it was very hard. When it created, I was just trying, and it created it in less than 1 minute. I kind of get upset because it is a very hard process to do so, and it gives it so fast, and it understood it very well. But overall, you have to have some experience about the topic you are talking about with ChatGPT. You cannot just go to a new topic and ask about it. Your benefit from ChatGPT would be zero. You need to have some experience. And in this case, I consider someone who is supply chain manager has enough experience about the data sets and shipments, and they know what they're doing. But they may not have enough experience in machine learning or data analysis. And in that case, you need someone to do these analysis for you. And who is that person? It's a data scientist. In this case, you can use who is the best data scientist. Probably AI can be a very good data scientist. So it's an assistant, act as a data scientist, which help me and give me suggestion, or an intern. I get the suggestions. I don't have enough background to understand what's going on. I don't have machine learning experience. I was able to ask to generate machine learning, but I get the results. I don't know what to do. I give, I need to check that. result with another expert, like an ML expert? Who is the expert? Again, ChatGPT can be that expert instead of telling someone else. You can tell someone else, but if you don't have that person, you can ask again ChatGPT. I got this response. Can you help me understand what's going on? And it says, okay, your accuracy is not good. You can tell to like change these thresholds and see what if the model gets better. You ask that from ChatGPT again, and going back to your expert, which is like ChatGPT, and ChatGPT say, okay, it's this model is fine. You can go ahead. So one thing that is very important is that you need to check your responses. Just blindly using AI would like make everything worse. And these 10 prompts, as Dan mentioned, is not just 10 prompts. I was trying back and forth with another chat in parallel to this chat to figure out if it is doing the process in the right way. And I was asking the other chat to give me the right prompt. It is very important to ask right questions because this process may like end to nothing if you ask wrong questions. It may take time, and at the end, it may give you something that is not useful. But since I was checking everything step by step, and I had understanding about the topic, and checking it step by step with another like uh, tab in ChatGPT or any other like AI, you can check your response with Gemini if you have that account too, or Claude, and go back and forth with them. Just trusting blindly to AI is not a right approach, but if you do this, you will get the right prompt, and you if you read everything. I was reading everything yesterday when I wanted to create this. So you have to read all of these details, see if it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, again, you have to go to the other chat and say, oh, I think it doesn't make sense. What do you think? What should I do? What is the right prompt to make this change? And
So
that's
we
the
have,
whole process. Yeah.
yeah, we have three quick questions. So David asks a great question. He goes, okay, so now we've got what appears to be actionable data, but we've got to be able to communicate that. Is there a way to automate taking the data from the dashboard and sending out an email? What's your recommendation there? That's the first question.
So the dashboard, in other words, the dashboard get these data sets itself every day, update
Yeah,
itself. Yeah,
yeah,
there are a lot of ways to do that. And you can do it with AI, but it takes time because you have to connect all of your data sets
yeah.
to the back end of this dashboard. And you need agents for your emails. You probably need an agent to get your email. So that agent uses, for example, your Gmail API. And it's like you need to pay for that. It's very cheap, but it will read through your like Gmail account or your email account, and and that agent job is to make that email into a data point to be able to feed it to your model. And once you get that, you need another like platform, another server to connect all of your data points. So your data points are being uploaded there automatically, and this is going to connect to that server to read your data set. And you need to have access to that server. You need permissions to be able to connect to that server if your company let you. But it is not an impossible. So if you like work with it like 2 days, you can have such system if you have the permissions and you pay for API. I did it once for like reading emails and give me data points. Uh,
So
yeah.
sorry to interrupt.
No.
So it isn't part of the answer. David could take his question, say, okay, I've built this dashboard. He could take this question, copy and paste it into Claude or Gemini or another chat GPT window and say, how would I do that? The answer may come back, well, you need to build some agents and you need an API key to be able to go into your email. The follow-up question would be, how do I do that? And ChatGPT could probably, just like it created this dashboard, create a small team of agents to be able to take output from your dashboard, dump it into an email, and blast it out, right? So,
Exactly.
so it's a great question that can be asked to the AI, and then same process. You just follow up and say, "Can you give me How would I do that? Where would I put that file? How would I run the executable? Those types of things, right? So
Exactly.
it's a great question, David, because essentially what you're talking about, David, is you're talking about business process automation, right? Building an agentic workflow. There's one workflow that gets us the data. How can we build agents to then continue the process? So great question, David. Thank you.
Exactly.
Mark says, Arsalan, great presentation. In this scenario, is the
Thank you.
model static or over time accumulation of data? Will the model self-refine?
So, if you mean the model, if you mean ChatGPT itself, this environment, I didn't. I think it is getting better because if you work with if you have worked with ChatGPT, you notice that if you send too many prompts, after a while it becomes very slow.
Yeah,
But it is not getting slow anymore.
yeah.
Maybe they changed it, but if that happened, that's the reason I opened this folder. So I put everything in this folder instead of just a normal chat. I just use this new project and start a chat in that project. Now, if I wanna use, like, if it becomes slow, I will open a new chat in this project and and I say, okay, read everything that I had from the previous chat, or I will tell this one to give me a very like a summary that I can use for another chat to understand what's going on. And I paste that into that. I don't know if this answers your question, if it was your question.
Will it self-learn though? Because essentially every day you're coming in, you're dragging and dropping new shipments for tomorrow, the tomorrow shipment file. So every day you're doing that. Will the model self-improve in and of itself?
Okay, got it. The machine learning model, or
Yeah, yeah.
okay, that's another thing. You in this case, no. So if you add more data set to your machine learning model, it's one thing that companies, if you want an industry-wide use like what David mentioned, this case was a personal use case. I was just using it to show an example. But if you want to have a perfect thing that your company is using, connecting to the data, your model should be able to update itself. And all of these machine learning models are refining themselves. So they get new data set and they predict something for tomorrow and they see the results of the tomorrow. And then based on that, they refine the model. And this is the process with most of the machine learning model. But in this case, we didn't do that. It was a like short-sighted model, which we had old data and want to predict future. But if you want to make it more dynamic, definitely there is a way. When you see the future data, the model refine itself because comparing what it predicted, what actually happened, and it refined the model and add tomorrow data, and it will add tomorrow data to the historic data and goes for the next prediction. And each time it makes itself better.
Last question from Maria. She said, but don't you have to double check the accuracy of the output? Don't you have to double check the data? Great question.
Exactly. That's a great question. Um, you need to have some knowledge. As I mentioned, you cannot just use it blindly, just give everything to it and get an output. You have to design and be aware of every step. Basically, you need to learn some like features about the modeling, about your data. You probably know about your data, but you don't know anything about like machine learning models. But you can ask, as I mentioned, ask an expert to what's going on here? What should I do if what model is the best? And here I can ask ChatGPT, it's an expert in many fields. So checking your results is very important. It was just an example, and I had the experience with these kinds of model before, and I was able to, and I knew how to ask questions from ChatGPT. But if you don't have experience, it's like a practice of learning new things. And since most of the time the work is repetitive, you can learn what you're doing after a few times of doing so. So my like suggestion is to definitely check your result because it can make the situation much worse. But you can do it with ChatGPT. So
So the big picture flyover, and we're out of time. Um, is that in the past, if you needed this type of thing to be done, you would have to work with the IT people and the data science people. They would have to do requirements analysis. They would have to look up all the data fields they would need. They would have to figure out which files they needed to pull down. Then they would do all the programming, build the machine learning model. And like you said, best case scenario, it's probably going to take a month of some pretty darn sharp technical people to build this thing. But here, what we've been able to do is basically on our desktop through a single instance of ChatGPT with the participatory AI that we're asking questions of, doing the Q&A and the cutting and pasting, you can do what I call sort of the desktop analytics without relying on highly expensive IT resources, right? I mean, it's pretty
yeah,
pretty amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's still the like IT people and people who are expert in modeling,
Yeah.
they can do much better job and like industry-wide usage. You connect everything, they know the structure. But here I was just showcasing this example that you can use AI as your personal assistant to understand the situation better and predict tomorrow's better. So it will help you to do your job better in that case. You're not necessarily replacing someone with AI expertise or something like that. You can do so if you put time on it. It will give everything you need to do so. But this example was just a very simple example that shows how to make a dashboard. If you are dealing with the data, how to automate that process and have clear predictions for your tomorrow's shipment, something like that.
So we effectively are using the AI as our data scientist assistant. It's like having a data scientist sitting in your department who can help you crank out some quick desktop analyses. Pretty amazing, right?
Yeah,
I mean, in just the last
so
few
amazing.
months, just the last couple of months, the power of these things has just gone up dramatically.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you go to any place, the demand for these things are infinite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
So with
have
that,
another question, I think.
okay, go ahead. Yeah, David.
My experimentation with I have found adding a prompt asking the AI to ask clarifying questions if the model is not X%
Yeah.
sure or
Yeah.
if it is
Good
unsure, which
observation.
helps if yeah, yeah.
So David's saying basically
Thank
asking
you.
clarifying questions and asking how certain are you? And
Yeah,
by the way, I need you to be more certain. Okay, then reruns the model. Yeah.
exactly.
So anyways, we're just to be sensitive to people's time, we've run over. I've got several decks to sort of pitch the University of Washington Supply Chain Transportation and Logistics program, but we're out of time. Everybody, thank you for joining us. Arsalan, amazing job. Looking forward. You're
Thank
going to be
you.
doing something very similar for all the incoming students coming September's, correct?
Yes.
Looking forward to that. Okay, gang.
Thank you.
With that, we're wrapped. Thanks again, Arslan. Thank you, everybody,
Thank
for
you.
joining. Mark, Kyle, great seeing you. We've got a one alumni, one board member in the audience. So fantastic. Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Kyle, good.